But likewise, an old-fashioned term that we use, groceries. I used it in the campaign. It's such an old-fashioned term, but a beautiful term, groceries. It sort of says a bag with different things in it. Groceries went through the roof, and I campaigned on that. I talked about the word groceries for a lot. But likewise, an old-fashioned term that we use, groceries. I used it in the campaign.
Old-fashioned word there. Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. It's Friday. Oh my God, thank God. The weeks are long. It's Freedom Family Friday. What does that mean? Freedom Family Friday. FFFFFFFF. That means we've got a smoking hot, redheaded libertarian wifey joining us live in studio.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Steffi, what's up?
I just bought groceries on Wednesday. We did a curbside pickup. I've been using the word groceries my whole life, and now it's a very good term.
Yeah, it is a good term. We say the word groceries all the time.
Yeah, I always say, I need to buy groceries.
Yeah.
What do people call it nowadays?
I think they call it groceries.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just groceries.
We need more food. Maybe that's what they say.
I'm not sure. That's a man who doesn't buy his own groceries. Good morning.
Well, he must not shop at Sam's Club or Costco because they do not give you a bag. You don't put things in a bag.
Yes.
So he's definitely old school.
I see, yes. Since President Trump announced sweeping tariffs on imported goods Wednesday, Americans have been busy adding to cart. The Wall Street Journal is reporting this story of Americans are doing everything they can to stock up before the prices start to go up.
It sounds like something my mom did, because a few weeks ago she was like, oh, I'm at Target. I'm just trying to buy things before the prices go up. She likes to buy Hazel clothes and things like that.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, so she definitely was anticipating this. So
We did too.
It's almost like we're becoming preppers all over again, just like with COVID.
Yeah, we're doing to ourselves and our own economy what COVID did to us. We're doing to ourselves voluntarily what COVID did to us involuntarily.
Yeah.
Remember last fall? We had this conversation, I think, when we were on a walk or something Wednesday, when I was like, Stephanie, we need to buy a car right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and you're like, no.
Right. I was like, why the rush? Why are we picking something that we're not 100% in love with?
Well, do you remember, I think it was before the election? It was before the election, maybe, when I told you, I was like, okay, we need to buy a car. You're like, what do you mean? Like, I thought Trump is going to make the economy stronger and stuff like that. And I remember how I kind of you were kind of surprised because I was like,
Yeah, I'm like, why are you voting for a guy that you don't actually believe in? I thought usually after elections, car prices get better, or after the new year, car prices get better. Because when we bought the van, it was basically Christmas weekend. So I was like, well, I mean, this is a bit risky. The prices could change drastically in January, and apparently they did.
No.
For the worse.
Yeah, it's going to get bad. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
And I do like our minivan. We use it all the time. We have gotten our use out of it already.
Yeah,
so I think it was a good buy.
Well, so the thing is that, what did I expect from Trump? I expected mostly bad things and a little bit of good. Whereas with Kamala, I expected all bad, right? So It was just, for me, all the Trump fans and people like that, people always get confused. You voted for Trump. You think, oh, that means you support everything you do. I see all these people out there today, this guy named John Doyle. He's talking about his dad. He's like, my dad gets it. He's like, I used to really question everything Trump did. He's like, but now he's like, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to trust the plan. Excuse me? Trust the plan?
Oh, no.
Outsource all your thinking to a politician, right? No,
Right.
I don't even do that for Thomas Massey or Rand Paul. Even they can be questioned.
Well,
right?
yeah, I used to be that way with Ron Paul. I was like, just trust him. He's always going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
And sure, maybe there is a plan. Maybe this whole tariff thing is just trying to play let's make a deal, because Trump loves making deals. And so maybe he's like, well, if people start hurting, then things are going to start happening. That's actually what just happened with our health insurance and MU Healthcare, which is our local healthcare company. And they actually just now said that they're out of network with our insurance, and I have to go find new doctors for Hazel and I.
Yeah, that's that anthem battle
Yeah.
that's been going on between the University of Missouri, Columbia, and the health insurance companies. And
Blue Cross, yeah.
they use us, just like politicians with tariffs, they use us as, the pawns in their global games.
Because in the letter that I got from the health insurance, it says, please call MU Healthcare, let them know that you want your healthcare back. And it's like, yeah, they're continuing to use us to just complain, to become annoying so that these people give in. So maybe, I don't know, is there a hotline we can call about these tariffs so we can just complain and become a pain in someone's side?
Yeah, it's the election next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you show up to vote. Throw the bums out.
Right. But as you said in the bathroom this morning, we have our best conversations in the bathroom. You said that next election, when the next president comes in, they could just change all of this because he's doing this unilaterally. He's not doing this through Congress.
Right.
So there's nothing permanent. It can all just be reversed.
Yeah, and it will be.
Yeah.
Right, because people they're going to vote with their pocketbooks.
And we do too now.
Yeah.
I think we do too.
Absolutely.
Because we want to keep as much change in our pocket so we can buy food for
Yeah.
ourselves and our family.
But the thing is, there was no good vote last year for president for our pocketbook. There was only less bad options. That's all it is anymore. Really.
Do you think Kamala would have kept grocery prices low because she cares about the poor and the middle class? Do you think the middle class would have benefited? Because if so, then maybe that would have been in our best interest.
Well, there's this kind of conflicting narrative when it comes to the tariffs. Like on one hand, you'll have people who will say that this is a negotiating tactic, which if it is, I totally get it, and
Sure.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But that flies if it's just a negotiating tactic. That's a completely separate argument from saying this is good for our economy to actually lay the tariff and to increase the price of goods,
Right.
to increase the price of cars, to increase the price of family minivans.
I mean, who says that? How can it be good in an economy? Who can argue that?
Well, the people who like voodoo people, right? They use voodoo. They don't use economic arguments. They use voodoo arguments. They say it's very well. This is when Trump brought a lot of like Democrats into the Republican Party, you get that disease, right? The socialist disease, which is
Right.
to abstain from discussions of economics and say we got to protect the factory worker, we got to fuck the small business.
Yeah.
But we got to protect the factory worker.
Well, and they're effing the common man as well,
Well,
who's
of
trying
course.
to buy groceries.
Well, politicians love seen beneficiaries and unseen victims, right? So the unseen victims, like the people who, so if you put a tariff on steel, for example, as Trump did back in 2018, there are all these beneficiaries. They're going to come out and say, they're going to show up to the podium and be like, hard hat and be like, you saved my job. Thank you so much. But all the victims who buy from the steel industry, who had to lay off people because they had to pay higher prices,
right.
they're the unseen victims. They're not going to get up on a podium and say, politicians aren't going to bring them up on a podium and say,
Well, but we, the people, are the unseen victims here, and there's a lot of us. We make up the entire United States, so I'm sure our voices will be heard at some point.
Right. But I mean, the only reasonable argument that I've heard from the tariff proponents is that this is going to be used to replace the income tax.
Okay.
But they can't even pass a law that would codify the cuts that Trump is making to these executive branch agencies. And again, there's a lot of good that the Trump administration is doing, but we're allowed to call out politicians when they do wrong things, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to support absolutely everything a politician does, right?
I'm starting to, here's my conspiracy theory brain, right? I'm starting to wonder if Elon Musk is in cahoots with the government just to further his own ventures.
There is some shady stuff going on with the vehicles. There is some shady stuff.
I
with
wonder
the
if
tariff.
some of this is fixed.
Yeah, the way that the tariff rate is being set when it comes to vehicles is shady.
Yeah.
Because it just so happens that Elon Musk happens to be the biggest beneficiary of this, and he's a government employee. Republicans would never tolerate something like that if Democrats were doing something like that, right? And that is shady.
Yeah.
But Elon's doing a lot of good, and there's a lot of things that we appreciate that Elon Musk is doing with the Department of Government Efficiency. I'm a big fan of Doge. Let's give it up for them.
Yeah. I just don't trust anybody. I really don't. Because Elon used to not like Trump. So maybe he's got his own motives.
Well,
here.
I didn't either. And I voted for Trump, right?
Yeah.
I came along to Trump. But I mean, here's the thing. You have to put this all into context, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion standards on their way out, right?
They are. Yeah. University of Michigan, which is a huge equality DEI university out in Michigan. They actually sent out a message saying they're ending that because they used to only accept, minorities, women. And so now it's going back.
Yeah. Whitey over in the chat says China has unbelievable leverage over the U.S. with just pharmaceuticals alone. The U.S. cannot allow that. I completely agree. We should not be beholden to China when it comes to pharmaceutical drugs.
Right.
But the thing is that the solution that nobody wants to talk about because it involves striking a blow at those union people that Trump likes to bring up onto the cameras is that we have to make it easier to produce here in the United States, not more expensive to buy. Yeah. We have to make it easier to produce. But the problem is this. The truth is most Americans don't want to work in factories. No. Most Americans do not want to work in difficult, dirty conditions. No. Most Americans have gotten used to a high standard of living.
We're entitled.
Right. We're not just entitled, we deserve it. We earned it.
Yeah.
Right. We developed it. We invent everything in the world. It's us and Israel that invents just about everything, and the rest of the world cannot keep up. Right. And
so if we're going to try to produce things here, then we have to let immigrants in so that they can work in our factories.
Maybe, possibly. Well,
that's the only way it's going to work. If we import the people who are making our goods now in Mexico and China.
Well, that's what Trump has said. Trump agrees with that because yesterday I think he flapped his $5 million gold card. Did you hear about this?
No, I don't know what this is.
So Trump has a proposal that is a $5 million gold card, which is the buying of citizenship.
Oh, yes. You can buy it for $5 million. Yes, that's right.
So for $5 million, you can buy your citizenship, get a gold card, which of course, they're not buying it themselves. The individual isn't. Steve Jobs, or not Steve Jobs, but he's dead. But
Bill Gates.
No, Bill Gates, and what's his name?
Elon Musk, I'm sure, is going to buy some of these.
What did Trump call him? Steve Apple or something? Or
Steve Apple, the new guy who took over.
Yeah, who's the guy who's that? Tim Cook. He called him Tim Apple.
Oh my goodness!
It's just
I don't even know his name.
It's Tim Cook. Yeah, okay. Tim Cook. Yep. So Trump agrees with you that we are going to need to import a lot of workers, right? Because again, most Americans do not want to work in difficult, dirty jobs. Correct. Right? No matter how romantic Mike Rowe tries to make dirty jobs, that's not why Americans are going to universities. No. Right? They're not going to universities so that they can go do dirty jobs, which is not to suggest that we don't need people in skilled trades and all those things. But it is to suggest that, if you want to keep up, if you want to have a strong economy, then you have to have labor and production.
That's right.
But again, the tariff question is a question of seen beneficiaries and unseen victims, and it will always be such. So, I'm glad we bought our car.
I was wondering who's actually benefiting. Well, I guess rich people don't care about how much things cost. Well, so they are benefiting at the end of the day.
Well, so we're going to be probably on the victim end of this, right? We want to have a coffee business, right? We love being able to sell our coffee, and we're fresh in the business. We can't buy coffee at scale like our competitors can do, right? And so we have to find really, really good coffee that we can then charge a premium for, so that we can afford to actually produce, coffee at enough of a scale that we can produce it individually.
But ours is produced in America, so maybe we won't be.
No, there's no coffee produced in America other than
Hawaii. But
like
the actual process of making it is
roasting
in America.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
it's roasted, right? But
Right.
coffee prices are going to go up, right? Cost of bananas are going to go up.
We just need to, I guess, have a greenhouse in the backyard and plant trees.
Well, you're not going to be able to grow coffee in mid-Missouri. I'm sorry to say,
Even with a
Stephanie.
greenhouse
Yeah.
that's temperature controlled,
No.
maybe we can do it.
Problem
Banana
is,
tree.
the problem is that the amount of money that you will spend to making that, you will not be able to make on the back end, right? That's the problem with economics. It's a dismal science, and unfortunately, it's going to be a challenge for us because our competitors can buy it at scale and they're wealthy enough. This is why we'll be victims of these tariffs, and other people will and rich people will benefit.
Yeah.
Folgers and Starbucks and all of the big guys, they'll be able to say, wow, this is killing our competitors, so we'll pay the tariffs, no problem, right? They might pass the costs on to the consumer, they might not, but they have that choice,
Yeah.
right? We don't have that choice.
Yeah.
Once our prices go up, we have to raise prices because
Right.
our margins are so thin. And then, of course, what happens is that we're going to get fewer customers, and that destroys us, right?
Exactly.
That kills us because, the government wants us to be dependent on them. They don't like you and I are in a situation where we're so close to freedom, right? To financial freedom. And of course, our fellow citizens hate us. So when we talk about tariffs and we talk about things like that and how it's hurting us, they don't care because most people, socialism is the gospel of envy, right? And so people are jealous of what we are trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. We don't have to go to a slave away for a boss. I don't have to spend 8 to 10 to 12 hours away from my daughter.
Yeah.
Right. We have a level of freedom here that is built on the backs of international trade. And so, being able to buy coffee and sell it for us has been a step in the path towards financial freedom.
Yeah.
Right. Building a podcast network on the basis of all of this technology, which could never be produced in the United States. You can't make that in the United States. You
Right.
can't make this device in the United States. You can't make any of these in the United States. That's why it's like Tim Pool is like ban all international trade. He's saying this, and he says this into the exact same microphone manufacturer. They don't
understand.
make this microphone in the United States.
Ban all international trade.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Tim
he can make his own microphones, I guess.
Yeah. So the thing is that they, Americans don't care about people like us because they think that we're rich people, right?
Right.
And here's the thing: the same mentality that is for tariffs is the same mentality of the people who walk onto our property without any respect at all for
Wow.
private. They have no respect for private property. It's the same mindset. It's gimme. You've got it. I'm taking it. If you have it, then the reason why I have less, the reason why I'm poor is because you have more than me. No, you're poor because you're stupid. Because
Right.
poor is a choice in the United States. Poverty is a choice. In the United States, people who are poor, who are crazy, and homeless people wandering the streets, that's mental illness. But if you look at how the United States operates, and you say to yourself, I'm gonna live in squalor, that is a choice. Opportunities exist in the United States, right? And if you're willing to do the work, if you're actually willing to put in the work, like what you and I do to make something like that happen, you too cannot have to go to a 9 to 5, not file a W-2, stay all day home with your kids, live out in the woods. If you can get internet, please God, let us have internet soon, right? There are
Yes.
trade-offs, but it is this, again, the same mindset of the people who tramp across our yard, right? Or the kids that drive 90 miles an hour down the street. It's the same mentality of the people for tariffs. It's jealousy, it's envy, it's ignorance, right? And it's class hatred, it's class warfare, right? So it's socialism in many ways, right? It's Marxism. So empiricism versus rationalism, says Luke Sacker.
Good word usage. You're very smart.
Yeah, Andy Opperman's over in the chat. He says leftists assume the economy is a zero-sum game. Correct. He says they have no understanding of wealth creation. Correct. Weren't we asking this the other day about Andy? We were wondering like what his slag operation would be, right?
Well, I was wondering how his business is going to be impacted by these tariffs.
Yes. Bystander syndrome says, "Bitch, they use slave labor to make stuff that cheap, dude. This whole rant is just ignorant. LOL, no disrespect."
Oh,
then
apparently we're being ignorant.
Well, then why bitch? No, I mean, like, again, this is the D students
Right.
in class who, I mean, I hate to sound smug or something like that, but it's like, the problem with that is like, that's a person who's never cracked a history book.
Yes.
If slave labor made people wealthy, then the American South would have crushed the industrial North.
Right.
In the Civil War, the North put blockades around the South so that they couldn't trade with anyone, and it devastated their economy.
Yeah, and that's actually in the what is it called? The history of the
Renegade history of the United
States. Yes, the renegade history of the United States.
If slavery,
the reason why
Yeah.
segregation was actually ended was because it was hurting the economy.
Yeah, you would think if slave labor was more productive, then China would be out competing the United States. But they're not out competing the United States. Our economy is still bigger.
Right.
still
Africa's not
stronger.
out competing us.
Yes.
All of these countries that have children
Slave
working.
slave labor is actually not as efficient as free labor. Even if the Civil War hadn't even happened,
Yeah.
slavery would have still been abolished because slave labor is not as competitive as free labor. It turns out that when you're a slave, you don't work as hard and you tend to run away and you tend to undermine your employer.
So you have to give your employees pizza parties in order to keep them
That's
happy.
correct.
That's the key
Pizza
here.
parties.
Maybe they should have given the slaves pizza parties, and then they could have maybe worked a little harder. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, there you go.
Maybe they could have paid them a little bit.
Yeah,
Well,
if they,
indentured servants. I'm sure indentured servants were a bit more productive. than
right,
slaves.
yes,
that
indentured
is true.
servitude. All right, so the economics lesson is over.
Yes.
The economics lesson is over. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. This is a difficult topic. It's not because it's the kind of thing that involves seen and unseen. And it's Friday, so we typically like to lighten things up and goof around a little bit with my smoking hot sweetheart life. Stephanie, unfortunately, Justin is not going to be here. No, I'm sad.
It's okay. And you know what else we have going on today? We changed the day of our Freedom Arcade to Friday nights. So that we can accommodate the people who stay up later.
That's right. So tonight we actually get double AP and Steffi. So tonight at 9 p.m. Central, we're going to play the Freedom Arcade. We're going to do a live stream. We're going to play games. We're going to hang out. So tonight,
right.
late at night, if you're hanging out and you want to play games with us, then at 9 p.m., join us right back here again at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. If you haven't clicked that like button, then please do so. Click the like button. And support the Wake Up America show by clicking follow as well. If today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, we'd be glad to have you join us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. And if you do so, then you become our friend. There we go.
And
Stephanie,
we have bonus content today.
Oh, we do have
right?
bonus content today.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So we do accept rants. We do accept donations. WakeUpAmericaShow.com/support. We do accept subscriptions. You can subscribe to our Rumble channel. However you would like to give us money for the bonus content, we will accept it. And we are raising, what is it, $75?
$75. We'll unlock the bonus
$75.
content today.
Yes.
And it's been really fun this week because we've had like the Lego theme.
Yeah, I thought those are so cute.
Yeah, so this week we've been doing our mini documentaries in the style of Lego. So all of our bonus content this week that you will get to view is fun and funny and Lego theme inspired. So if you make a Rumble Rant donation and we manage to hit $75 raised by the end of the show, then that unlocks the bonus content and we play that for you and it's a lot of fun and interesting. You can also go to forlibertyshop.com. One of the big things
Oh, that's right. I left that out.
Oh, yeah. One of the big things that we really love about Donald Trump is the Gulf of America. And that I love about Trump is the Gulf of America. You are not a fan.
I think it's just stupid.
I love it. I think it's
There's
hilarious.
no point. It's going to cost more money to change all of the signs for the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America.
I'm willing.
It's going to cost more money for businesses to change their maps if they're bookmakers who make maps.
The tariff supporters are more than willing to make us slaves of the state and of them, or they're more than willing to put the noose around our neck and make us pay. And destroy our business. So I'm more than happy to make all of the tariff supporters pay to change the maps. I'm willing to have them make that sacrifice on my behalf. So if you haven't visited forlibertyshop.com, then please do so, because we've got an incredible Gulf of America collection over there. Everybody's buying our beach towels at forlibertyshop.com. That's the number forlibertyshop.com. So if you buy a few beach towels, that'll unlock the bonus content right away.
And I just made a new shirt myself last night. It says, "Ooh, tariffs."
Oh, nice. There we go.
So if you don't like tariffs, then buy my shirt.
This is a free market show.
Yes.
We love liberty. So this is a 5-minute video clip. And so we'll pause it while we're playing it. But this one I knew Stephanie was going to love. She hasn't seen this yet.
I love talking about relationships.
This is a wife who posted this TikTok video. It's a 5-minute discussion where she's talking about why she considered divorcing her husband. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for? But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier.
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead, Steffi.
First
Weigh
of all,
in.
does she work or is she a stay-at-home mother? This is going to definitely make things a little bit different. Mm-hmm. If she's a stay-at-home mother, then that beautiful kitchen that she is standing in right now, her husband made that. He's the one who provided that for her. So she's acting like she's doing all this stuff. You know what? You'd be living in a shack or a homeless shelter without your husband. So that's my first argument here. And yes, women do a lot of things in the house, but I've had this conversation with you before. Housewives have it easier. Sorry, guys. I know a lot of you at home, you are the housewife, homeschooling moms. I work and I do the housewife thing and I help with the business. So I basically got 3 jobs here, and I will tell you that it is a lot easier to just hang out with Hazel, make food, clean the house. It is a lot more stress-free than writing therapy notes, making designs in the shop, making marketing posts. So you can't compare the two. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier, because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like,
so what do you think? So what do you think my response to this is going to be? Go ahead, Stephanie. Go say what you're going to say, then you can answer my question.
Oh, so this is a very common complaint of women who come to me for therapy, and they say, I shouldn't have to tell my husband what to do. He should just know. He should know when he needs to unload the dishwasher. He should know. I shouldn't have to remind him. That is below me to remind him. And I just say, you know what? He's got a lot on his mind here. You know, he's providing, he's working. Maybe you could just, you know, say to him, how can I help you get these things done? What do you need from me to help you do this? Mm-hmm. It's a very simple question, but these women don't want to stoop that low. They think it's just, no, my husband should know better. He should do better.
So here's what Matt Walsh said about it. He says, red flag number 1, she is openly criticizing and complaining about her husband to the entire world. I guarantee if her husband ever did this to her, she'd lose her mind.
Absolutely. I mean, sure, women come to me in therapy, so that's a private setting. I do not condone what she's doing at all. Do not air your dirty laundry online. Talk to your husband first. Go to marriage counseling first. And then if all else fails, sure, go to the internet, but maybe anonymously, maybe cover your face so nobody knows who you are.
Yeah. Andy Opperman in the chat dropped $10. Thank you, Andy. He wants to unlock the bonus content. He says project managers are guys who think they can get 9 women pregnant and have a baby in a month. Okay, red flag number 2 in this video. He says she admits that she considered divorcing a good, loyal man and great father and husband simply because he didn't follow her instructions closely enough.
Yeah, gee, why do you think he's such a good, loyal man, great father, and husband? Well, it's because he doesn't have time to follow all your stupid rules. He's busy doing other things. You need to give him credit there.
Red flag number 3. In this whole 5-minute diatribe about her marital difficulties, she never once mentioned anything that she might need to work on or improve. Mm-hmm. In her mind, she is perfect and does everything right. Her husband is to blame for everything.
Absolutely.
Very concerning that so many women are applauding this monstrously selfish nag who tears down her husband in public. I love the word nag because it's not... Nag can also mean like horse.
Oh.
Yeah.
She does kind of look like a horse.
Yeah. And I went to get my son's water bottle.
This is what happens in a society that like gives 5s the confidence of 8s.
Yeah.
And it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was running late so I could go make money so that your ass had a place to sleep. You know, that's really how he should be talking to her. But she'd be like, oh, I'm divorcing you right now. Okay, he's late for work. Guess what would happen to a man if he is late for work? If he goes to a W-2 job, guess what would happen to that man?
What?
His boss would penalize him, probably put him on probation for being late, and then possibly fire him if he continues to be late because he's helping his wife at home. Bosses don't mess. They don't care what your personal life is at home. They want you there on time. They want you to be productive, do your work, and shut up.
That's right.
That's how it goes.
Amen, Stephanie. Amen.
Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that.
So
he doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
Well,
I'll give her a little kudos.
Well, she works, I think.
In the home.
I think she runs a blog.
Okay.
Every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me. And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here.
Oh, really?
And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy.
But I was still considering divorcing him anyway.
and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say,
imagine if she had left her husband and then the kids. What would have happened to the kids? How selfish she would be.
She probably would have deprived her husband of custody rights.
yeah.
She would have just taken 100% custody of those kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She would have taken all his money.
And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running.
Okay. If both the man and woman are working full time, sure. I think there's a bit of an argument there.
Yeah.
If the woman's working full time, contributing to the household, plus she's doing all the chores, taking care of all the kids, doing everything, and the husband, when he comes home from work, he gets to just sit on the couch and do nothing. Sure.
Or he goes out, plays golf.
I could see an argument for that.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably lead to resentment in the marriage.
Sure.
It would.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah.
But it's because the wife is working. That
Right.
would be the only reason why that would lead to unhappiness.
Is that resentment alone, would you say, grounds for divorce?
No. I mean, grounds for divorce, for me, I know we've talked about this years ago on the show. For me, your marriage has to be like unsafe in order for you to ask for a divorce, in my opinion.
But what if you're mildly unhappy?
I'm sorry, but that's not the vow I took. If you're unhappy, you have to work through it. The person that you marry is your person for life. Unless they're threatening your life and trying to hurt you and your children, then I think you need to stick it out because that's the vow you made. What's the point of marriage?
Yes, absolutely. Will Run Riot donated $5, says it's going to be funny when the update comes and she's crying about her husband leaving her.
Exactly. He's probably going to see that video, and he's got tons of other women.
Yes, this is her
wanting
job.
him.
This is her job, by the way, probably just being on TikTok and ranting to the world and complaining about her husband.
Yeah, she
Says
never quite
Ashley Ann.
said. She never said what she does for her work, and why is she going to work so late in the day? What is she doing? Is she a stripper?
I think she's a blogger.
Okay.
Yeah, Ashley Ann, by the way, I got to give her credit for that comment. A Fire Waco says, "What if AP forgot to take out the trash?" Oh God,
He does actually sometimes. No, and it's okay. Here's what I do. Okay, marriage advice. I am okay with reminding my husband of things, and we actually have an agreement. And I say to him, "How often am I allowed to remind you of things?" And we have a once a day rule. I'm allowed to remind you of things once a day.
That's
and
right.
if it's more than once a day, then that's nagging you.
Yes.
And so, if you forget the trash. Usually, you're here. You're right next to the garage. And so if you forget the trash, usually I'll text you and I'll say, hey, it's trash day, if I remember in the morning. And usually you're like, okay, cool, I'll go take out the trash. If you're like about to start the show or you're tied up, I say, hey, it's okay. I'm going to go get it. Let me go take out the trash. And I am not resentful because I enjoy going outside in the morning. I think it's beautiful. I don't have an issue. So that's how we compromise. I don't hold it against you.
I mean, for me, the question of being, responsible for certain activities. I mean, we would. Here's the thing: I did all of these things before you came along. I did all of these things. Now, my life is much improved since I've gotten married, and there are things now that I used to have to do that I don't do now.
Right.
But I do step in and help
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Yeah, you definitely help me with cooking.
I help you with cooking. I help you with taking care of the baby.
Yeah.
I'm a good father. I play with my daughter. I take time out when I'm exhausted to sit there and make sure that I spend a little time with the child every single day.
Yeah.
I mow the damn lawn, right? I do it whatever I can maintain in the house, I'll do, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I think one reminder a day is enough. And I actually appreciate a reminder.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like it when it's twice, 2 or 3 or 4 times a day or something like that. At that point, I might dig my heels in just because I'm annoyed.
Right. And we also have a board on our refrigerator. So if there's something major that we need to really remember, we put it on that board. So it's a constant reminder every time we see it. We put our grocery list on that board so we know what we need.
Yes.
It's all about communication.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to clearly define for your spouse what it is that you want. You don't have to wait for them to read your mind. That's not going to happen.
Yes. All right. So I got another video for you. This is a relationship. This is a husband who posted this video of his wife, and she's very upset. She's crying because he is making her block her guy best friend on all the social platforms. Watch this.
Yeah.
Block all of his accounts.
He literally just posts pictures of his dog.
I don't care. Block him. I know his intentions he has with you.
He's like
You don't
my
understand how guys' brains work. And he's not just a friend. He likes you.
No, he doesn't.
And you don't need to explain it to him. You don't need to open up the door for conversations.
His
Yes.
accounts. Like, I don't have to block his feed so he never even checks that one.
I don't care. Block it. He
He's
shouldn't
gonna
be
know this is
contacting me.
because of you.
I don't care.
Because he knows I wouldn't do this. He's gonna think you took my phone and did this.
Block him.
I'm just looking at his page, like the list.
I know how guys' brains work.
I'm just looking at his page.
I feel like she's
love
acting,
you.
honestly.
Me too.
I feel like this is fake. But if it's real, this is a common thing that actually people come to me for in therapy, talking about rules about opposite sex friends. So our relationship is probably a little different than most.
Ours?
In that you have to have opposite sex friends.
Me?
Yes. In your industry, you have to talk to the opposite sex. Like if I banned you from talking to women, your show would not be successful. You would not have Daniela Pinsek. You would not have Camellia. You would not have Hannah Cox on your show, right?
Yeah.
So I can't ban you from talking to women. That would affect your whole life. And yes, you do talk to ex-girlfriends from time to time because they're in our Liberty Circle.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, that's just something we have to deal with. But I think in most relationships, it is a red flag if a woman is spending a lot of time talking to somebody of the opposite sex.
I think if a woman is talking to a guy, it's different than if a guy is talking to a girl. And that may sound like a double.
No, not that either.
I think it is. I think it's different because I think men and women operate on different levels. And I think that a man should be allowed to have female friends.
Even though a man would seriously F anything that's in front of him.
Yes.
So he would F that girl that's in front of him, wouldn't he?
I just think men are more trustworthy in general.
I don't think so. Yeah, a man can be tempted very easily, and a woman knows that. And so women, they're definitely threats.
No, I think, women, the women themselves are the
so
threats.
I'm more worried about the woman tempting you.
Yes.
Than about you tempting the
which
woman.
Which is what you should be. You should be. And I mean, but
Exactly.
although you have been getting like a DM from like a stranger who sends you
a
weird
guy
DMs
who
lately.
apparently is a show supporter.
Yeah.
He like slides into my DMs and sends me, just, hey, what's up? How are you? Hey, stranger. He sends me a picture of male boxers. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So here's the thing. I am such a good wife that I set boundaries with males. I do not talk to my ex because I think that's a healthy boundary, for our relationship. I would never want it to impact our relationship. Right. In terms of opposite sex friends, I would say any friend that you had before your relationship, I think it's okay to keep that friend.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to have more boundaries with that friend. Like, for example, if you didn't feel comfortable with me, you know, having lunch with that friend, let's say, it's okay if you join us. You know, it's okay if you want to read our messages. I think that kind of openness and transparency is important.
I was talking to this about with Camellia the other day. Like one of the true tests of being a man is like when you have conquered your animal spirit, when you are able to resist temptation. So like one of the things that I did once we got married was to start to unfollow all these women on Instagram, right?
yeah.
And I still find myself doing it where it's like, so there'll be like a girl who will like pop up from back in the day, you know, and it's like, you know, friends since 2016 or something like that. And we've never spoken. It's just like, you know, butts or something.
Yeah.
And so I'll unfollow it, right? And it's like that to me, like it feels good to do it, honestly.
It does?
It does, actually.
It doesn't feel like unliberating.
No, it feels liberating. Actually, I'll tell you why. Because temptation is a shackle.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
Temptation, it wastes your time, it wastes your energy, and all of that productive, like romantic energy or carnal energy that needs to be directed towards your wife.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can cut it off, and for yourself as a man, I mean, I think it's a true test of a man.
I think the thing a lot of men deal with in their marriage is that they don't get that validation and sexual satisfaction from their wife because their wife keeps that from them. And so they do feel they need to look outside of the relationship because they're not getting their needs met.
Yes.
So luckily you get your needs met. I'm in tune to those. And so, you know, you probably don't feel the urge as much to look.
Yes. Joni Rankin sent $5 for a dad bod pic. I was sitting here yesterday, almost naked at the thing here yesterday.
We
and
were saying you just wear pasties.
Yeah, I was like, I should do a show like this, but just have like pasties on my nipples and see how that goes. I don't think that we need to do anybody needs to see that. Although I am looking pretty buff these days.
I think so.
I
say you are sexy every minute of the day.
I know,
always look
but
at
you have
up
to.
and down.
You're legally obligated. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. We're well on the way to unlock the bonus content.
Great.
I'm pretty sure. It looks like we've done pretty well so far. So I think, let's see. Let's check the donations.
Do you all like talking about relationships?
10, 20,
I do.
Yeah. So we've raised $25 towards the bonus content. To unlock the bonus content, we have to hit 75 by the end of the show. And so keep dropping those Rumble rants. Thanks to Joni, Andy Opperman, Fiery Waco, Will Run Riot, and all of our friends who have been supporting the show. If you'd like to unlock the bonus content today, go to forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4libertyshop.com. Get yourself a Gulf of America towel so you can look as sexy as me this summer. So,
Here's one thing that I will say.
Go ahead.
If there is an opposite sex person, you know, who is involved with your spouse, if that person doesn't want to include the other spouse, that's a major red flag.
Yes.
So like if a woman only wants to talk to you and does not want to talk to me or hang out with me, that's a red flag.
I can say that, like, let's say that, like, the documentary goes well, like, we start building more connections, we start making more movies. I can say it would be awkward if I had to, like, cast for, like, Scarlett Johansson nude scene or something like that.
Yeah.
For me to be like, Stephanie, I need you to come into the room while I videotape this naked woman.
And I'm sure that causes a lot of issues with celebrities.
Oh, for sure.
With actors, I mean, they have to be in sex scenes, they have to be kissing each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different
How do you
business.
do that without getting turned on?
The nice thing about this Battle of Athens documentary shoot that we're putting together is that there's no women in it. We might end up having to have a couple of women for like background and extra work and stuff like that.
Right.
But as it is, like, you know, it's all dudes, so
Right.
you ain't got to worry about it, right? A bunch of scraggly guys.
I got to worry about the gay men on set.
It's actually kind of nice. It is. Actually, it's actually kind of nice because I'll tell you this. I mean, how do I say this without being terribly, terribly misogynist? But I mean, women on the set is trouble. It tends to be trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Women on the set tends to be trouble, right? Because everybody wants screen time, and so they're all trying to get on the camera and jockey for position and like get their face in the screen and all that stuff. But like the women on the sets are dangerous, man. They are dangerous, right?
Absolutely.
They will do anything, right? And if you're the, hey, Mr. Producer, you know, it's a it's kind of like you got to watch out for them. So
We were just watching this reel the other day of the office girl that flirts, but she's actually taken. Do you remember that? Where she basically is like, hey, want to come to the meeting? Our work meeting? And,
oh yes,
hey, I saw this video. I want to show you. Do you have a set?
yeah, where she's flirty but unavailable.
Yeah. And then she's like, are you coming to the work party this weekend? And then the
Yeah.
guy's like, oh, yeah. Like, who are you going with? Oh, my fiance.
Yeah, and then she runs, and then she leaves. Yes,
Yeah.
flirty
So
but
watch
unavailable.
Out.
Yes.
These women will slide into your DM. They will make you feel special.
Yes, yes. So that video that we saw of the man who was like making his wife delete her like guy best friend.
Yeah.
That was fake.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring it up as a discussion. I play it as a discussion.
Yeah.
And then now I can play this video, which is real.
Okay.
We're in a relationship. Should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship. Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy Mushtaq is here to talk more about that. Dr. Romy, seriously?
Good morning, Tom. I know, and I
Come
feel
on,
like
this sounds positively guy.
guy, doesn't it? And I have to sit here and defend all of us women, but this is the latest psychology research. I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women
either.
who are married.
The fact that she is shocked makes me not trust her.
Makes me think she has a backup ex-boyfriend
Exactly.
that she's not
exactly.
telling anyone
Thank
about.
Thank you. The fact that she's shocked.
Who are married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan. And what is a backup plan? It means you have someone on the back burner.
So a
like-
specific person
a
they've
specific
identified.
person that they've identified, and in most cases it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Unfortunately, yes. And the problem is social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior.
Right, so I know you're here to say, though,
Yes.
watch out, because this
Absolutely.
is anything but good.
It is, I agree. You know, mindset matters in relationships.
And that's my other general rule for opposite sex friends, which again, it can't apply to you because you have to be friends with your exes. But like for me, for example, I would never be friends with a guy that I've ever been attracted to. I won't do it. I'm setting that boundary.
But Stephanie, why? Okay, so social, it can't just be that it's possible, right? That they're doing this. There's some other psychology here at play. Research shows more than half of women have a backup ex-boyfriend or friend ready to go. 70% in 2024. Red
Because
pill.
they're so insecure,
You know
and
what-
so they need to monkey bar
you know-
relationships.
monkey bar. That's the
Yeah.
word for it. Thank you. Yes, monkey
A
bar.
lot of people monkey bar. Like I'll have clients come to me and they'll be like, I have never been single since I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to be alone. And that's the problem most people have. Yeah. And I mean, me included. Hey, not going to lie. Like I was with somebody since I was 17 years old until the time I got with you, you know? So I did end one relationship and start another. So sure, maybe I'm a monkey bar as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So while we're on the subject of hating on women, this is a teacher, I guess maybe a former teacher. I think her name is Christina Formella. Here, yes, married Illinois teacher. So she was married. She had a backup on the side.
Her student?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. 30 years old. Christina Formella. And here she is. This is her arrest video here.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain. I'm sure you're confused. I'll explain it to you. You're Christina? Yes. Okay, Christina, do me a favor. Can you step out of the car for me? I know you're confused. I'll explain everything to you.
Am I being
You have
detained?
everything on you. You can just grab whatever you need.
Whatever I need.
Yeah, whatever you need. Like your phone, your purse, go ahead and grab it.
Is she going somewhere? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna explain everything to you guys.
Her poor husband.
Go ahead and grab it. We're not going anywhere right
Oh,
now.
her husband's with
of
her.
course,
Oh,
of course.
boy.
Yes.
I don't understand what's going on here.
I get it. Yeah. You can go grab your things.
Can he come with me?
Yes, yes. You stay there right for right now, sir. Just stay there. But yes, you can. Now, come on back here.
Should I shut the car off?
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Goes off. Okay. So right back over here. So we do have an investigation going on. We have to talk to you about it at the police department. Okay. So we're going to explain everything to you there. It's not my investigation. I don't know the full details. We do have to bring you there, though, okay? So I do have to put you in handcuffs and bring you to the police department. Just a downstairs.
Handcuffs?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
I'm like willing to go with you.
I get it, yeah. Unfortunately, we have to do it that way. So do me a favor, we just take this off.
Well, he said take your stuff.
Can I ask you
Of course, yeah. It's not like I said, it's not my investigation. Obviously, we're here for a reason. So go ahead and turn around for me.
She is a very attractive woman.
So right now you're being detained, and there is a
Very
detective to
young.
talk to you at the police department. So we'll let if your husband know. No, he can just come to the police department as well if he wants to wait for you there.
I'm like,
I get it. You have
I'm
a lot of questions.
so scared.
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
everything's
you
okay.
should
We
be.
just need to talk to you at the police department. That's all. Nothing else on your pocket right now. Anything
Just
else?
my phone.
Just your phone.
Here.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna sit in the back of this car on the other side. Once you get to the police department, you'll talk to the detective and he'll explain everything to you.
But you can't even give me like an idea
At the moment,
what this is about.
other than that it's an investigation, that's all I can really tell you right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is
I'm
Christina.
sure she knows.
Yeah, so I'm sure she does. Yes, so she's married, right? She's a special ed teacher.
Oh, no.
She's accused of raping a 15-year-old student.
Special ed student?
That's we don't know
I
yet
hope
because
not.
they keep that information private. All right, but I'm gonna guess that probably one of her students. Yeah. So she's accused of raping the student.
How
right?
old is she?
She's 30.
Oh, okay.
So here's the news, right? Here's the news. The newest news is that she allegedly kept a memoir in her phone's notes app in which she accused the teen of cheating on her.
Oh, yeah.
So she's a 30-year-old teacher at Downer Grove High School. She wrote in a lengthy note she was upset that the, quote, disgusting student cheated on me. This is a woman, she's married.
Yeah.
And when their relationship ended, we will never, ever be together again, she wrote in the note, according to the document.
It's common for people who cheat on their spouse.
Yes.
And then when the person they cheated with cheats on them, it is very common for them to get upset about that too.
Yes.
Because it is possible for you to love or be infatuated with two people at the same time.
She says, I'm not a second choice. This sounds like a female. I'm not a second choice. I'm the best thing you'll ever have, even with all my mistakes. In a section titled Manifestations.
Oh my goodness.
I'm manifesting my grape of a 15-year-old. I'm manifesting 15-year-old
She's
special ed.
obsessed.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
In a section titled Manifestations, she allegedly typed that she hoped the teen would reach out to her soon, quote, to try to fix things between us.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I do remember when I was a teenager in high school, my French teacher was only a few years older than me. And, you know, I thought he was definitely attractive. And so it's like, I can understand where students and teachers who are attractive could definitely have some sort of connection. I get that, but you can't go there.
Yep. She continued, in the meantime, I'm going to live my best life, knowing he's not the person I thought he was and that he is beneath me. When pressed by police about the note, she claimed it's how she lets out her anxiety and that any content, sexy content, referred to her husband. Now, Formella was also the boys' soccer coach, and she began exchanging flirtatious messages with him, which quickly escalated to a sexual encounter in December of 2023. The 28-year-old teacher allegedly slammed the door during a before-school tutoring session in the classroom, and then they had sex.
Why did she slam the door? She should have closed it quietly and then no one would have noticed.
I love having sex with you, she wrote the teen in messages sent in 2023. Now, she was 28 at that point.
Oh my goodness.
Right, so now she's past her prime. But
Just wait till he's 18. He'll be fine.
yes, but here's the thing: if she's a tutor, if she's tutoring him and she's a special ed tutor,
Yeah.
probably means that that's a special ed kid, right?
Oh my God.
Now, here's the thing: she's also come out and said that the reason why she's being persecuted is because she's so pretty. Yes, yes. So
no, it's because you're with a child.
right. She's soccer coach. She's pretty for a soccer coach. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What is up with these pretty women that go and get with teens?
she's not pretty. She's like she's.
Well, I
she's
commented at the
soccer-
beginning of the video. I thought she was pretty.
No.
She's like a Christina Aguilera type. She's pretty.
No. Christina Aguilera was pretty, but I mean, soccer coaches, I always think that they look like male wrestlers. A lot of them. So she's pretty for a soccer coach, but I mean, and special ed teacher.
Well, and I'm sure when her hair's all done and she's wearing cute clothes, I'm sure she looks fine.
Not quite sure about that. So Stephanie, I asked this. I talked about this with Danielle yesterday. But what's your thoughts on this? What's the female psychology here?
Oh, on what?
Of Formella, the whole this kind of this power differential, teachers, being with their students. If this was a man, I don't think we would be having a conversation in this way. It would just be, there wouldn't be story after story after story in the New York Post about it. It would just be, he's a pedo, lock him up, put him in the wood chipper.
Exactly. Because I actually had a teacher at my old high school, and he lured in a boy. Mm-hmm. And there's like a photo of him in, what do you call it, a straitjacket kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that was like the only news story I ever saw about it. He was removed from school, put in jail, and end of story. Yeah, why do they keep talking about it? I think it's because it's good for news. Yeah. People want to watch an attractive woman on the news.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
And I think, we all understand the sexual attraction. Mm-hmm. We understand that the student probably was sexually attracted to her. Yes. I mean, she's easy on the eyes for most people.
Here's how the men feel about it. So for all the concerned trolls tweaking over Christina Formella, may I introduce to you every grade school boy's favorite song in the 1980s, Hot for Teachers.
And I think it's a fantasy that a lot of people probably have,
sure.
Being that bad, teacher wearing that little mini skirt with her ruler, like bad boy, right? It's like some sort of fantasy going on. And when she's so young, she's in her 20s. I think anyone in their 20s, I can see where they would be attracted to a teenager, because here's the thing. As I get older, I definitely understand this more and more. Even though you're older, your brain still feels young. So it's like, I remember when I was attracted to my crushes in middle school, high school. It's like, I can bring my brain back to those places.
Yes.
So, I'm not for pedophiles or anything, but I can definitely understand.
Well, it's good to know.
I can understand how there could be an attraction to teenage people, because teenagers, they look like adults. A lot of times they don't look like children.
All right, Stephanie, that's enough. That's enough. Time to slow this conversation down.
I'm just saying.
It's gonna get us in big trouble.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we're demonetized on YouTube. So
I'm just saying psychologically how it could possibly happen.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Wake Up America Show. I'm Austin Peterson. Andy Opperman dropped $10 in, says, the thing that women just cannot seem to understand is the majority of 14 to 18-year-olds are so they would bang a pile of rocks if there's a dead skunk in it.
Exactly.
For the bonus content, yes.
Yay! Exactly. I mean, teenagers are sexually charged. They're not going to fight you. And again, I think it's the thing about, like, if you were raped by her, like, how traumatizing would that be? I don't know. Unless she was like really violent with you.
Well, so it all depends on like your experience. Most guys can't get with most girls.
Right.
Okay?
If you can get with a woman like that who's in her 20s, dang, right?
Nah, I guess. Well, it's all relative, right? So here's the thing. So 80%, like about 5%, because of hypergamy, about 5% of men are dateable material for most women. It used to be about 10%.
Yeah.
And before that, it was about 20% a long time ago. But it's always been an 80-20 rule. 80% of the women typically sleeping with about 10, to 20% of the men. But because of social media, because women think they have all these options, it's gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. So like very few men are actually able to get women. It's more women reproduce than men. It's just historic averages. You can look it up. So in this situation, that woman, for most men, they would crawl over hot, rocks.
Oh, of course.
To get with a woman like that, because most men can't get women.
Yeah.
Most men can't get women at all.
Right.
right? The majority of men, over 50% of men are not going to be able to get women.
Exactly.
They're not going to be able to reproduce.
Yeah, I just wonder what her husband looks like. You know, is he an attractive man who is pleasing her? Is he a good husband? Is he abusing her? Like, what, what's his story, right?
Yeah, Kosher Pink Salt, new in the chat, by the way.
Hi.
What's up, Kosher? How you doing? Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Nice to meet you. Said, I worked in middle school in my 20s. Never. My job is way more important than some short-term pleasure, and I love my freedom. Yeah, and I think, obviously most people do that. Most teachers aren't sleeping with their students.
No, but I do know, like, I used to have a chemistry teacher. She was like a beautiful woman. And I do remember the high school boys in my class, they would hit on her all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They would make passes at her. And like, she had to shut it down, even though, like, she'd be giggling and like, because it's like when you're a young woman, it's hard to just always be serious about things.
Is there a discrepancy, would you say, in how we treat like the differences though in terms of the gender? So let's say, okay, what if she had done this? Would it have been more attractive if she had done this with a girl?
Oh my God. I'm sure. Yeah. For a lot of people, it would have been.
Yeah.
Because the whole fantasy again of girls with girls. And,
right. So wouldn't we, if it was a male teacher and it was a little boy, they would execute him.
Right. They'd be like, you're gross. You're disgusting. How can you be attracted to that?
If it was a male teacher with a female student, they would be like, you're terrible, you're a pedo, wood chipper, but yeah, she
like,
did.
Look out for your family. What about your wife?
Yeah,
right?
but they'd be like, okay, yeah, she was kind of hot, right, at 16 or whatever.
Right.
Like, she looked like she could be 18, officer, and that wouldn't be an excuse. But there'd be like, a certain percentage of men would be like, oh yeah, I understand or whatever.
Because we know girls are very tempting, even teenage girls.
That's right. We posted an AI picture, by the way, and this is going to be a good segue for the next topic. Because AI girls are taking over OnlyFans.
Oh, of the spring break on Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America girls. The spring
made
break
that,
thing.
by the way.
You made that. Stephanie, you're the pedo.
Austin
You're the pedo.
He's not the mind behind that. I thought these girls looked of age. 18-year-olds nowadays, they look young.
Yeah, well,
and they're 18.
Well, you made it AI girls,
Yeah.
and so everybody was like saying that, like, oh, these girls aren't 18, and it's like, you're right, they're fake, they're AI,
They're
not
a fake
real.
age. They're however old you want them to be.
$30 more to raise to unlock the bonus content today, guys. Thank you for all the Rumble rants. Keep them coming.
Well, and we've talked about this before too. There's this girl on TV, and she's a little person, and she literally looks like she's like 7 years old, but she's in her 20s. Do you remember who I'm talking about? I think she had like a rare cancer as a child, and it stunted her growth.
That's right.
And so anyway, does that mean that someone who's attracted to her is attracted to children, right? It's like, is it a little twisted? Is there some sort of fetish going on with anybody who's with her because she looks like a small child? I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
attraction is complicated.
But here's the thing. So it's a female teacher with a male student. Everybody's like, yeah, way to go.
Right.
But why the double standard?
Because I think it is assumed in society that males are very sexually charged, and men would be with anybody, and they want to be with anybody. They would consent to be with anyone. Whereas women, it's more known that, oh, they're not as high of a sex drive. They say no a lot more often. They're more sensitive and emotional. So women are more easily traumatized, I guess you could say.
And I think a lot of men, they all see themselves as that student, like being hot for teacher and like saying like, oh, I would have loved this or all that. But
like imagine your pretty female teacher in school, right? It's like, would you have been that hurt if she had approached you and flirted with you? I don't know.
It's hard to say, but but here's the thing: we are hearing from male victims now who are starting to actually come up. But guys don't, like you said, you're listening to my conversation with my guy buddies last night. Guys don't talk about their feelings.
No, and I'm not saying that guys don't have trauma too. Guys definitely have trauma. I think it's just societal expectations. We expect the man to just want sex all the time from anybody and everybody and to accept it, but that's not how it goes. Men have feelings too. Men don't always want everything.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, because they can't talk about their feelings anyway, you may not know if they're traumatized by it. You may not know if they don't like it. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And usually, and this is not always, but usually you will hear from men who can't get women anyway, big fat dudes who can't see their pee-pee, below their bellies. They'll be like, I would have liked it. I would have wanted it. And it's like, well, she wouldn't have slept with you because,
Exactly.
and of course you would have
want
wanted.
what you can't have.
Right. You want what you'll never get.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I understand that. But like, if I had a 15-year-old boy and a teacher did that, I would say lock her up and throw away the key. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. She deserves the same treatment as any man.
Yeah,
She does.
Because again, there are negative consequences that happen to kids when they get molested. Right?
Yeah.
It is a terrible crime because it. Here's the thing: it may prevent you from having a healthy relationship with your wife in the future if you want to have good relationships with people, because you may always look back on that situation and say and compare everything to that.
You
right?
would.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
you have to consider young people's psychology. It's not the same as us adults.
Yeah.
It's easy for us adults who are mature emotionally to be like, oh yeah, I would have liked it or I would have wanted it. But you don't really know that until you're in that situation. So
Exactly.
we were talking.
It would affect you in job situations, like if somebody saw the news articles about what happened.
That's another
It would
thing.
haunt you for the rest of your life.
That's another way that it hurts.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something. You're not gonna believe this, but I am entirely AI generated. Sure, humans were involved, these guys at Artel.ai, but only in creating the technology that made me alive. Yes, alive, just like you. I go to the gym, just like you. I take walks in the streets and enjoy a good morning coffee, just like you. I enjoy picking out good literature and reading it peacefully in the grass, just like you. I'll even do some shopping, because like you, I am still looking for love. What do you think about this outfit? You can shade me, sure, but it's always me. This is still me. Me again. Me. All generated with Artel. Alive? You decide. Anyways, there's one more thing I want to show you.
Wow. So me personally, I don't know that I would be as attracted to an individual if I knew they were a computer. I know there's people out there that like watching anime and they're attracted to like anime characters and cartoon characters.
A lot.
Things like that. I'm not.
Well, you're a girl.
Right.
But it's very popular.
Yeah.
Very cartoon.
I know anime women. I mean,
stuff.
I've seen the character drawings. Like, they're very sexualized. Absolutely. They're like wearing their lingerie, big boobs, these anime characters. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. But I don't know. There's something about the human connection for me, at least. And maybe it's a thing about being a woman. But it's like I have to feel that emotional human connection in order to like actually be attracted.
So AI might fill in for the yet to arrive sex robots and the soulless virtual influencers in the metaverse. So a French AI startup, that's this group here, has launched a deep fake AI tool for influencers and educators that could be a game changer, of course, for adult content creators too. So Paris-based Argyle AI, it's already a runaway hit among creators on YouTube, TikTok, and other social platforms. The AI helps users generate their AI avatars, and then all the user has to do is upload a few minutes of their video to the website and ta-da, write a script with scenes, watch your AI clone present a weather report with the choice of voice tonality, or create educational and promotional content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that. So the AI platform is expected to seize the adult content platform OnlyFans within a year as influencers seek to cut short production costs. So some platforms have stringent guidelines for AI-generated content. The deepfakes are evolving and are not restricted to masking the face with someone else's. So you could put someone else's image on there. Drake asks, which AI tools do you use for the thumbnails on the show? I use a lot of them. It depends. Sometimes I use ChatGPT. Sometimes I use Grok. Sometimes I use Design. Sometimes I use a lot of different AI tools. It just depends on which one is not going to ban me that day.
Right.
But
I think if I didn't know this was a computer, sure, I could connect with it. But the fact that I know it's a computer, it just stops my mind to be like, no. Just throw it away.
Have you ever heard of this concept that is called the uncanny valley, Stephanie?
No.
Okay, help me explain.
Right, like if I saw her and nobody told me she was a computer, I probably would have thought she was real.
Yeah, I mean, she looks very real.
And with her eyes, how she like looks to the side,
Mm-hmm.
like her movements are incredibly realistic.
Yes. So, oh, right.
I keep looking at when she's doing her squats, and I'm like, is her body normal looking? I don't know. It looks a little odd on the top. It looks a little disproportionate, but because usually with the AI people, there's something a little odd about them.
So here's what the Uncanny Valley is, right? So picture this: like you're looking at a robot or an AI or a CGI character or whatever, and it's almost human. It's got realistic, shiny eyes, right? But something's off, right?
Yeah.
The eyes don't blink right.
Yeah.
Or the grin looks like it's hiding something. Like that skin crawling feeling that you get, Stephanie.
Yeah.
That's called the Uncanny Valley.
Okay.
So what's going on here? So our brains are wired to love human faces.
Uh-huh.
We're built to connect with the expressions and emotions. But when something, say, 90% human and 10% freaky, it's like a glitch in the matrix to us,
Yeah.
right? It's not a cartoon, which we're fine with being fake, right? And it's not a real person, which we're also totally cool with.
Yeah.
It's stuck in the awkward middle ground, and our brains go, nope, I don't like this. That dip in comfort is called the valley.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how I'm feeling.
So if you think about those old animatronic figures at theme parks, super lifelike, right? But the jerky moves and dead stares, that's the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
And so if you see like a creepy porcelain doll that looks like they're plotting something,
Yeah.
that's the Uncanny Valley. Even sometimes video game characters will like get like that, right? But then there's movies like Avatar where they skip the valley by just making the characters stylized enough
Yeah.
to avoid the creep factors. They make it alien, so you're like, oh, it's supposed to look weird.
And then I can connect with those.
Right.
Like I could connect with Wally, for
Right.
example.
But if you've ever
Yeah.
seen a robot or if you've seen a doll or if you've ever looked at an AI image of a person that's supposed to look real but doesn't quite look perfect,
Yeah.
that's the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Right? And it's your willingness to believe what you're seeing or your how you feel about that drops. So it's like, oh, okay, so she looks good until we see her lift those weights and it looks off, and then boom, all of a sudden we feel uncomfortable. That's called the Uncanny Valley.
I think it's something in our evolution because our mind is structured to look for patterns in our environment. And so when the pattern doesn't match up with what we're used to, there's danger.
Yes.
And our minds alert us to that.
Have you ever felt the Uncanny Valley before? Would you say? Because like sometimes like you see like a creepy doll or something, right?
Oh, right. Well, I guess my fear of people in costumes, I used to have a fear of mascots. It was because I couldn't see their eyes. I couldn't see where they were going, and that's what made me afraid of them.
Do you think
So I need to see someone's eyes.
Do you think that we'll ever make robots so perfect that we won't notice the Uncanny Valley?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure we will. It'll probably look incredibly real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
And
really
I'm sure even to this day, like I'm sure we're watching videos all over the place and it's AI and we have no idea.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's probably been a lot of really good deep fakes and things like that
Yeah.
that are completely believable.
Right.
Let's okay, so we're watching this right now. Let's see if we can find something fake. All right, so when she turns the pages of that book, let's see if we can look at her fingers, because that's usually
Right. It's in the little details.
it's usually in the little details that we're going to see.
I mean, her face is so symmetrical, right?
Right,
It's
okay,
nearly
let's-
perfect.
So she comes in and she sits down. Let's see if we can find the fakeness.
She's got her eye makeup on. It looks like it's put on just how any other woman would put it on. Are her collarbones? No, okay. In this picture, do you notice how her upper body is a little bit wider than her lower body when she goes up? Like her upper part, her upper back is just kind of wide. It's a little bit odd.
Okay.
And then her bottom part is like a little too slender.
Yes.
I don't know. She
Yeah.
doesn't have enough hips or something.
Let's see here. So clearly she's not sipping Revere's Revolutionary Roast. Correct. Thank you. Okay, well look at her.
That's funny.
Look at her fingers here.
Okay.
Okay, that's actually not too bad.
So how would you turn a book, right?
Yeah. Would you turn a book like watch how she turns the pages?
Is that how your wrist would bend?
I'm not sure, right? So
Right.
yeah. Yeah. It's bystander syndrome says you wouldn't be able to find a flaw because they handpicked this footage. Very true.
Right. And she looks like someone with a lot of plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm,
So naturally, I think already we're like, ew, fake, fake, fake. Like, she's not a natural woman.
Right. Maybe. We'll see. If you guys want to, you know what? Here's a good test for the Uncanny Valley. Can you find the flaws in the AI-generated mini documentary bonus content?
Yeah. Ours is not as perfect as this.
It's 8:30, so we still got 30 minutes to go.
Oh my gosh, we've been talking about relationships this whole time, and we're already here.
We've still got 30 minutes to go
crazy.
to unlock the bonus content. If you'd like to do so, you can make a Rumble Rant donation. That's what people have been doing this morning. Or you can go to forlibertyshop.com. That's the number 4, libertyshop.com, to unlock the bonus content. We've actually been using ChatGPT to help us create lots of our product images. We've like the whole last week, we have upgraded the shop majorly in terms of what we have on our site. Most of the times you go to the shop and it's just a flat picture of the product with no background, right?
It's all fake models.
So, yeah. So like last week, for example, this Do Not Give In to Evil, it was just the picture of the tank top with the Ludwig von Mises symbol. Now look at this. Look at this.
It's Mises.
It's
wearing
Mises.
the tank top.
I mean,
so cool.
and it's really going to help our shop because, you know, one of the big...
Oh, there's the ladies. There's
Oh
the
yeah, here they
girls,
are. Here's the ladies that
the
have
young
got
underage models.
exactly the ones that have got everybody angry because they're not even 18 years old. Well,
They basically look like twins from the head down.
yeah, they all basically they look like they could be sisters,
Yeah.
like quadruplets, right? But they're not 18 years old, so stay away.
You know what is awkward for me? There's this one woman that I know on Facebook, and she posts pictures of her children, you know, like her family vacations and stuff. And she'll post pictures of like her children in like bikinis and stuff, you know, and her kids, like they're teenagers and like they're beautiful. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of awkward for me. It's like, do you think, okay, so this is the question. Do you think once Hazel gets older, for example, should we be posting photos of her in bikinis on Facebook?
Probably not.
Right. It just feels awkward for me to look at it and to like it.
Yes.
And to comment on it. Because I'm like, I shouldn't be looking at these underage girls in bikinis.
Yeah, there's a whole like
Yeah.
influencer industry of these like where like parents are like pawning off their kids and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but they're like posting photographs of their like daughters in bikinis and
And
stuff.
I know, you know,
And
she's
it's
not trying to
so
sexualize
weird.
her kids in any way. It's just
Right.
the style of clothing that
Yeah,
kids wear
some
nowadays,
parents are,
like
though.
showing their midriffs.
Some
and
parents
everything.
are, and they're getting
Yeah.
rich doing this.
Yeah.
Joni Rankin says she'll help to unlock the bonus content if we post the picture of Dad Bod Baboon with his dad bod.
Okay, there we
yeah.
go.
See, we don't need AI influencers. We need you guys to send us pictures of yourselves with our
Send
products.
pics.
Send news. Here he is. He's completely butt naked, pants free, as every free man ought to be, with his Gulf of America beach towel. We've got one just like that. That one is beautiful.
Thank
So
you for that photo. And
yes.
Sign of Jonah has sent us photos too, so thank you for those.
Yes, he has.
He's sent us stuff from his Doge merch.
Joel Lettimore, whose name will be on a plaque when we open up our own studio one day, it just gifted a sub, by the way. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
We're now like $20 away.
Wow. I'm surprised we're not there yet.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So there you go. There's Dad Bod Baboon and his dad bod with our Gulf of America beach towel. There you go, guys. So I mean, these are awesome. Look at this, you know, pirate flat, you know, we got a pirate on our Gulf of America, right? We've got,
That's a real girl right there.
that's a girl we know. Gulf of America shark tumbler. Here's JD Vance drinking out of his Gulf of America shark tumbler, right?
I just worry for the future of our world in that people are going to be using these AI photos and we'll have no idea what's real and what's fake. Yes, this is a real Liberty influencer right
Yeah,
here.
she's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know her.
She's cool.
Yeah. And we're going to continue to use AI to grow. I mean, what do we use to create our Miami Doge beach towels, right? So we've got that. And then our Gulf of America collection. these are great, right? They look awesome.
That man's hair is kind of funny.
Yeah, he looks like a regular guy. Look at that. I mean, that looks pretty real.
It does.
Yeah, Gulf of America shark T-shirt, and then I love the post that you made yesterday with this chick.
She's an illegal immigrant.
She's a 10, but she's an illegal immigrant who loves Trump and the Gulf of America. There we go.
Oops. That's a nice sundress.
Yeah. Oh, dude, AP's DC Liberty Tour is coming up.
It is less than a month away.
I'm so excited.
So if you want to go, you better buy your tickets now.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Is this Hillary Clinton wearing a Doe shirt in jail?
Yeah. Uh-huh. BB for Liberty did that.
Andy Opperman says he's surpassed the dad bod and now has a father figure.
A father figure. I've never heard that before. That's fun. Yeah, what's worse than a dad bod? I guess after dad bod, you're just morbidly
After dad
obese.
bod, it's father figure.
Or grandpa. No, at that point, then you're like grandpa's.
Yeah, we're all prepping for the APDC Liberty Tour, and I got a text message from Heather Coyle yesterday, and she's like, "Can we join you halfway through on the tour? Can we come in on because she's going to be there on Saturday. So there's going to be so many really cool people that are going to be on this trip with us.
Oh, that's awesome.
They do. There are still a few tickets left. Not many, but there are still a few tickets left. So tell the story, Stephanie, about the APDC Liberty Tour.
So we are going to Washington, D.C., May 1st through 3rd in just a few weeks. And you are going to literally be led around the city by Austin Peterson himself. We are going to get a Capitol tour, and we're going to get to meet Dr. Bob Onder and possibly get a tour by him or his staff. So that's on the first day. And then we're going to go to, what is it called? Super Pollo?
We're going to go to the Peruvian chicken joint in town, Super Pollo, where you get the delicious Amarillan peppered chicken that they charcoal roasted chicken. It's so damn good. You can't believe how delicious it is. And fried yuca. They got plantains as well.
So good.
It's
so
delicious.
good. We're going to do that. And then we're also going to go to the U.S. History Museum? That's what it's called?
Yeah, we're going to go to the American
History Museum
and the Jefferson Memorial. But here's the thing. We're actually going to be accompanied. Instead of creating AI influencers, what we did is we created AI presidents. So we're going to actually be accompanied by AI Thomas Jefferson. So he'll be there with us, and we'll be able to talk to him, ask him questions, get his thoughts about maybe current events. So Thomas Jefferson, AI Thomas Jefferson, will be with us at the Jefferson Memorial. So it's going to be an unbelievable, once-in-a-lifetime experience.
I don't think any tour guides ever have AI with them.
We might be the first.
Yeah, the first AI-guided tour.
Yeah, so Andrew Jackson and George Washington will join us at the American History Museum.
Yes.
And then when we get to the Jefferson Memorial, Thomas Jefferson will join us.
And then on the next day, we're going to Mount Vernon, where we're going to see the Revolutionary War weekend.
Yes.
And they're going to have battle reenactments.
Yeah, so that weekend is Revolutionary War weekend at Mount Vernon. So they're going to have reenactments. They're building the tent, George Washington's Revolutionary War tent. And there's going to be all kinds of fun extras that weekend and I've always wanted to see reenactments.
That would be so cool. I've never seen it.
Freaking cannot wait. And
we're going to be nerding out.
Yep, and we're going to do a live recording of the Wake Up America show with me and a few friends who have bought the upgraded package there. So you can join us for the live recording of the show.
And our exclusive merch package is still available to buy. And we also have our individual DC Liberty Tour t-shirts available to buy by themselves.
So yeah, because if you buy a merch package, you get one t-shirt, you get either tea or coffee, your choice. And then you get like a bunch of other gifts from the shop. And some people have said, oh, well, I want more than one shirt. Okay, that's fine. You can go and get them. The DC Liberty Tour 2025 shirt is available for sale in the shop. And the theme this year is Minecraft. So AP's DC Liberty Tour in a Minecraft style. You can get it at forlibertyshop.com. On the back, it says dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. That was a Thomas Jefferson quote. See our Minecraft Thomas Jefferson. I mean, that's just a cool shirt anyway. And it's got our cool For Liberty Shop logo on the side. May 2025, you can
We'll
get
be
those.
wearing them.
Yes. Quest Fanning says, can we add FDR and just relentlessly make fun of him? For AI FDR, yes.
Yeah.
The funny thing is we actually have
FDR sucks.
FDR sucked. We should make an FDR suck. We should make FDR in his wheelchair wearing his tank top with his FDR
Oh my God,
sucked.
that would be funny. Yeah, let's do that.
Kermode says, Austin, come to Kano. We have the largest D-Day reenactment in the nation. That's awesome. And thank you for the Rumble rant. We're now only $5 away from unlocking the bonus content, guys. That's
you
great.
You can do it.
Let's see if my bonus content gives you the uncanny valley. But yeah, so if you want to unlock the bonus content, you can do Rumble rants like these people have done. Steelbringer, our bringer of steel, he's been buying subs as well.
Oh, so we have to be at the dollar point at this point.
We're like $5 away.
Okay.
We're $5 away. So if somebody drops another Rumble rant, that'll unlock the bonus content, and we'll be successful. We won't feel like miserable failures all weekend, you know? Yeah, we've only not hit the bonus content like twice in the whole history, and we've been doing the bonus content for like almost a year now, I would say, and it's been so successful in helping us to grow the show. It gives you guys a good incentive to finance the show. It keeps us productive, and also learning all the new tools of AI and also it gives me a chance to like share topics that people may not have had time to talk about on the show.
Exactly.
Yesterday, we actually cut the bonus content from Argentina on Javier Milei and what's been going on with his economy. And I posted that one over on X, and it got a lot of shares, a lot of reposts. So they were able to see it later, because if we don't unlock the bonus content, it goes away and we have to create a new one. So it's a good incentive, right? A little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
Will Run Riot, he just unlocked it. Let's play it for him, guys. Let's play it for him and enjoy it, and we'll be right back, guys. Thanks for all you do to help to unlock the bonus content.
Thank you.
You're supporting a small family and a small business. We have big dreams to grow the For Liberty Network, and it all is happening because of people like you. Those little contributions, they really add up. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back. Enjoy the bonus content. Tell me if you have an uncanny valley. I'll give you an uncanny erection. When we get back on the Wake Up America show, the For Liberty Network. All right, let's talk whiskey. Not just the kind you drink when the day's been long and the news cycle won't shut up, but the kind that now costs 25% more because of tariffs that just went into effect. And yes, I know, I've said plenty of good things about President Trump. He's done more for the American worker, the economy, and shaking up the establishment than most Republicans have in 40 years. But on this one, these tariffs? I've got to call it like I see it. This is a bad move. Now look, this wasn't a sneak attack. Trump's been talking about tariffs on Canada and Mexico for a while, and he's followed through. A 25% tariff on imports from two of our biggest trading partners is now in full swing, and it's hitting everything from cars to, you guessed it, whiskey. That $20 bottle of Canadian rye on your shelf, it's now going to run you $25. Not because demand went up, not because grain is scarce, but because the federal government decided to step in and help you with more taxes. This is the problem with tariffs. It sounds tough. We're taxing them. We're sticking it to foreign countries. But in reality, we're the ones who pay. Tariffs are taxes on imports, and importers pass those costs on to consumers. You, me, the guy just trying to unwind with a little something neat in a glass. And let's not forget how these tariffs happened. President Trump used a law called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA, to push these through. It was originally designed to give the president power in a genuine crisis, like war or sanctions against hostile nations, not to slap taxes on whiskey from Canada. Last I checked, Canada was still the country that says sorry when you bump into them. This is executive overreach, and yeah, I said it. Even for a president I support, the Constitution gives Congress the power to regulate trade and impose taxes. That's not just a dusty rule. It's one of the cornerstones of American government, and we've let that power drift over to the executive branch, where one person can decide what costs more at your grocery store, your gas pump, and now your liquor cabinet. To their credit, a few folks in Congress are finally starting to stir. Representative Susan Delbene and others are pushing a bill to make sure presidents can't just throw tariffs around under the banner of emergency powers without Congress signing off. And good, because we need checks and balances no matter who's in the White House. Even if it's a president we voted for, even if it's someone who we believe fights for the country. Because here's the truth, tariffs hurt us. They hurt small businesses, farmers, and working families. They jack up prices, slow down trade, and invite retaliation from other countries. And worst of all, they give the government another excuse to reach into your wallet without asking. Now, I'm not saying we roll over for bad trade deals, far from it. But if we want fair trade, let's negotiate like adults. Let's cut red tape. Let's open up markets and level the playing field, not punish American consumers just to make a political point. So here's to a little tough love. I can support the man while opposing the method. That's what real loyalty looks like. Telling the truth, not just nodding along. And if we're being honest, the next time you're paying $5 more for that bottle of Canadian whiskey, you're not going to toast the tariff. You're going to wonder why someone who gets so much else right decided to take a sledgehammer to your bar tab. Here's hoping we can raise a glass soon to liberty, to low taxes, and to better trade policy. Because if I'm going to pay 25% more for something, it sure better come with a bottle opener and a steak.
Shelly, have you been taking ketamine? Because I think it could really help you. Okay, Sharon, I'm just gonna do some ketamine and fuck around with the government a little. See ya!
Epic. Oh my god. How can this show exist?
Bro, I have no idea. I'm just gonna do ketamine and F around with the government anymore. Me too!
I did. Actually, my mom is the one who informed me about Elon Musk's mental health issues. I did not know that he takes ketamine for his depression.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
We were. Because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, if you have mental health issues, you shouldn't be allowed to do this, that, the other thing. Really? Do you feel that way about Elon Musk?
No. I think people, adults, should be allowed to take drugs if they desire, provided they harm no one else.
If they have mental health issues?
Yeah.
So he's got severe depression.
Well, here's the thing. So we say he has severe depression.
We don't really know.
We don't know.
We don't have access.
I think probably a lot of people who say they have severe depression or say they have depression might just be feeling sad sometimes. And maybe they just don't realize that you're supposed to feel sad sometimes. It's okay. Not all the time. And like people who have real severe depression, I'm not downplaying them, but I am saying that I think that probably a lot of this whole severe depression, let's take ketamine thing, is people who want to do drugs and people who just don't understand that, like, you're not supposed to feel happy all the time.
No,
you're not.
The normal ebbs and flows.
It's normal to have downs, to have lows.
Yeah, but in our world of Xanax, everyone feels happy all the time.
Yeah.
Or at least they think they should. Because you can just take a happy pill and feel better, but that's not how life is.
Yeah. It's not.
Because my clients will come to me and they'll be like, I'm having a really bad day. You know, something's wrong with me. And it's just like, no.
Yeah.
You're
No.
fine.
You're fine. It's just it's normal to feel a little bit low.
The key is to be able to get through those bad days. That's what's going to make you more functional, to be able to actually cope through bad stuff.
I had a really nice conversation. You know what really picked me up? talked to my boys last night. We had a conversation last night. We did like a Zoom call with me and my guy
that was
buddies.
so cute. I really was happy you did that.
And you know what we talked about? We talked about like, you know, as you get older, it's harder to make friends. We're like, you know, we talk about like not being social, right? I'm in my early 40s. They're about my same age. And you know, you're in your mid to late 30s, and so it's harder and harder for us to like have friends, get out, do things, right? And being social is so freaking important.
Yeah.
It is so important to like get into people's faces and chat with them and meet them, you know, exchanging pheromones and like learning how to read facial expressions and like knowing that you're not crazy because of the way that you feel and things like that. You just don't get, even if you have the same conversation with someone online, in person, it's still not the same experience. And it changes who you are. So we talked a little bit last night about the things that we do to like, you know, cure our depression or cure like our, you know, our feelings of being down. And I have to say that I think that not enough people have healthy hobbies that help them to get out of a funk if they're in a situation like this in middle age, right? Because or they get ripped by their wife for having a hobby, like that one chick that we watched earlier. He's doing his hobbies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so many people are just so busy with their day-to-day life, going to work, taking care of a kid, doing all your household chores. You don't have much time for anything else.
Yes. But the thing is like in this small town, you know, now I've taken over like as a karate instructor, like and this was my advice to my guy buddies. And like, I have a buddy who does like really struggle with real depression. You know, at this age, this is a good time to mentor people because like, you and I have these conversations a lot, how it's like, it's better now. The nice thing about this part of our life is that we're competent, we're experienced, we're capable. We know how to do things. We know how to fix things. We know how to solve problems, right? We have resources that we can use to try and to solve problems and to do things, right? And now is a good time for us to start to pass on our experience and our knowledge to younger people.
You're getting into the legacy point.
Right. We're getting to the point where it's like, okay, now I've spent the last 20, 30 years building up all of this knowledge and experience. What should I do with it?
Right.
If you have nothing else, teach. Teach. Now, not everybody's going to be in the same situation I'm in, right? Like, I didn't even know when I started karate 20 years ago that I would eventually become a teacher. I didn't even know that was something that I wanted, right? And then as I was in class and as like it started to become obvious that like I was needing to start helping with other students and things like that, that like I was really destined to be in this situation to become a teacher, but like and this is just a recent thing, but I mean, like, I get these explosions of joy from seeing young people and some of the adults, but especially the young people because they're so unsure of themselves. When they accomplish something, when I've like been working with them now for like several weeks, and they're starting to get it and they're starting to do it right, and seeing the joy on their faces when they're like when they do it right, and I praise them, and like their joy and mine, like that personal experience is unlike any other experience. You can't replicate that. Right, so what are you doing? I mean, maybe a lot of people probably do it with their kids and they get joy out of that. Of course, Hazel, when she gets older, we'll teach her karate and we'll teach her all that we know. But I think like one of the cures for depression rather than ketamine is probably, I mean, Elon's a busy guy and
it's like he's got a lot of social exposure. He's got a lot of hobbies. He plays video games all the time. So really, you would think a man like him wouldn't be depressed.
He's isolated because of his position. You know, he's isolated and alienated from the world, right? You would think that the wealthier you are, the more friends you have, the more you're social and all that kind of stuff, but it actually isolates you because the more you're capable, the more you're wealthy, the more people like ask things from you, the more they take things from you, the more they push you into a corner, the less they forgive you for your problems or your insecurities, the less they feel bad for you when something bad happens to you.
Does he really have a best friend in his life? Does he really have a companion other than his baby mamas?
Doubt it.
Right.
Doubt it. But, you know, having a healthy hobby and mentoring young people, probably, you know, better than ketamine, I would say. Don't take drugs if you can avoid it. You know, to get yourself a healthy hobby and teach young people. Teach young people what are your passions. You know, get involved with a group where you can actually teach or start. You know, people are like, well, I don't know, nobody's going to let me teach, right? And it's like, don't do it. Just start it. Like start a group. You know what I mean?
I always say volunteering. I've always loved volunteering because in that way you don't feel as much pressure to perform. I always hate it when people judge me and my performance. So I'm like, if I'm volunteering, nobody can really criticize me because I'm just giving of my time.
Right.
No one's paying me.
Yep. Yeah. The more you throw on your plate will also stretch you completely thin, says Cecilia. Very true, Cecilia.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to see you soon.
Absolutely.
Cecilia, we're very excited about the
Oh, yes,
APDC
Cecilia,
Liberty Tours.
It'll be so cool to meet you and hang out
Amy,
with
J.
you.
Eves,
And Amy.
the Fannings
Yep.
are going to be there.
Fannings,
Make sure you
Ryan.
guys. Yep, and we got. I think Cecilia's shirt it's almost here. We've got it, so we're getting ready to put together the gift packages, the merch packages. Yes. Joey Maddow says Rumble needs to add Apple Pay. Agreed. Joey, if you want to support the show but you can't use Apple Pay, you can at forlibertyshop.com, I'm pretty sure. So go to forlibertyshop.com, get yourself a Gulf of America beach towel. That's what everybody loves. We love the Gulf of America collection because it's become a huge hit for us. It's the Summer of Freedom. You can click on the Summer of Freedom, see all of our summer items. But if you specifically like the Gulf of America, you go down and like all the Gulf of America stuff is in one collection as well.
Yeah.
We got pages and pages and pages of awesome Gulf of America merchandise. At the top, that's our Summer of Freedom. Get an OO government tank top. We've also got a new OO tariffs. Are we gaming tonight, Stephanie?
We are gaming tonight
We're
at 9
gaming
p.m.
tonight.
Central Time for an
Yes.
hour and a half. It's going to be a party. I'm definitely hopeful more people will be able to come because you can stay up later on Fridays
Yep.
usually, unless you work on Saturdays, which I do have one session on Saturday morning, but it's okay. I will be up for it.
Tonight, 9 p.m. Central, rumble.com/AP for Liberty. Right where you're at right now. This channel, it is an exclusive members only, though. So here's the deal. If you are a Rumble Premium subscriber, you'll be able to watch. If you're not a Rumble Premium subscriber, wait until the show tonight. You'll get a little alert on our channel that will show you when people, like, it'll say, you know, you'll have to sign up for Rumble Premium to watch this premium content. Then do it on our channel because otherwise we don't get the credit for it. So please do support the show. Join us tonight, 9 p.m. Central for the Freedom Arcade. We're going to be playing some games, having a blast.
I feel like we'll feel more relaxed naturally as well because
do
it's
too.
the end of the week. In the middle of the week on a Tuesday, it's just too much for
Yeah.
us. We have to get dinner ready. We have to get ready for the next day. So
Hazel
this is
to
going to
bed.
be a much better situation.
Yeah, and if Hazel's awake,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. She'll be gaming with us too.
Exactly.
So we'll see you tonight, 9 p.m. Central tonight. Exit through the Grift Shop at forlibertyshop.com. Enjoy us, celebrate the Summer of Freedom. Get yourself a Gulf of America Shark Beach Towel. 5 stars, 5 stars. And we'll see you tonight on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network.
Be free.
Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your founding flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.